How can Eritrea defend Assab if Ethiopia invaded southern Red Sea zone of Eritrea to seize control of Assab port, Assab town by force? Welcome to my views and news. Thanks for watching the channel. I did a video yesterday. The video was about Ethiopian military capability to seize Assab. I said I'll do a part 2. In that video, I focused on Ethiopian military capability. If Ethiopia is capable of capturing Assab by force or not. In that video, I concluded that keeping in view the superiority of military power, firepower, air force, which Ethiopia possesses, it can march to Assab. But I concluded that it will be very difficult for Ethiopia to use Assab for commercial activities, even if it took control of Assab by force. You can watch that video I uploaded yesterday. This video is about Eritrea. What is Eritrea going to do? Obviously, Eritrea is not sleeping. It knows very well that Ethiopia wants Assab. Can Eritrea stop Ethiopia from thinking of controlling Assab? Yes, it can. And this is what Eritrea is working on. Eritrea will work, it is already working on 3 strategies to foil Ethiopian likely plans to march towards Assab. First point of Eritrean strategy is that Eritrea should invite a foreign country to invest in Assab. If a foreign country with clout, with influence in the region, in Africa, invests billions of dollars in Assab, Ethiopia won't be able to march towards Assab because that country will never allow its investment to be wasted. UAE used Assab in the past. Eritrea never officially confirmed, but UAE used Assab as a military base during its intervention in Yemen. Assab sent a special message to Saudi rulers a few weeks ago. I did a video on that. Yes, Eritrea wants Saudi Arabia to invest on Assab. If Saudi Arabia invests a few billion dollars, and if the port operations are in the hands of Saudis, Ethiopia won't be able to just use force to gain control of Assab. It will have to talk. It will talk to Eritrea, it will talk to Saudi Arabia, but the threat of a military intervention will cease to exist. This is what Eritrea is working on. I don't know if Saudi Arabia will agree or not, but and if Saudi Arabia has been interested in being so close to Gulf of Aden. Assab is very strategic, and we know that Saudis and Emiratis have been they're rivals. They want to expand their influence, and they want to have their presence in as many countries as possible close to this key shipping route. Emiratis are all over the Horn of Africa. They are in Somalia. They are in Somaliland. Their presence in Ethiopia too. They're backing Ethiopian PM. Saudis are not far behind. So Saudis, I think, are interested. No, any deal reached or no? But if Assab reaches a deal with Saudi rulers, that will kill, I think, Ethiopian ambition of marching towards Assam militarily. First point of strategy. Second point, if Saudis don't show any interest, or if any other country, by the way, Egypt could also be invited. And we have heard rumors in the past that Egyptian Air Force could be deployed to Assam. But Egypt is not in a position to invest billions of dollars, I think, in Assam. Point number two. Point number two is about preemptive measures, which Eritrea is making. One of the preemptive measures is the involvement of some foreign country in Assam. Second preemptive measure, and it's not just preemptive, it will work during the conflict too, if conflict erupted. Second point is that Eritrea should have, as much as possible, presence in Ethiopian Afar region. It should have Afar's backing, Eritrean government, Afar's ready to fight Prosperity Party. And already we're seeing Eritrea is working on that. Ibrahim Usman, an Afar regional government leader, is in Eritrea. He's organizing Afars. Afars of Ethiopia are entering Eritrea. They are being trained, organized, armed there. They'll be launched. Definitely they'll be launched in the Afar region of Ethiopia against Prosperity Party, against Ethiopian forces. The strategy will have limited results. It's not that tens of thousands of Afars of Ethiopia will support Eritrean government, but these Afars can be used for guerrilla war. A limited result can be achieved, I think. Third part of the Eritrean strategy is very dangerous. Dangerous from Ethiopian perspective. But if war erupts, Ethiopia does not stop, and it wants to fulfill its ambition of seizing Assab by force. For that, Ethiopia will make its Afar region and southern Red Sea zone of Eritrea a battle zone. Eritrea will try to shift the battle zone from the Afar region towards Ethiopia, Eritrea, Sudan border. From there, Eritrea can manage a massive push towards Addis Ababa. How? Eritrea in talks with TPLF, or good relation with TPLF in Eritrea. Eritrea has proxies in eastern Sudan. Civil groups there being trained, armed by Eritrea. Pano commanders visiting Eritrea, did videos on that. A formidable alliance can emerge. Eritrean military, Tigray forces, Pano fighters, Sudanese fighters, backed by Al-Burhan. Even without the backing of Al-Burhan, Eritrea can use its proxies in eastern Sudan. From there, a massive push could be made through the Amhara region towards Addis Ababa. That could be a game changer, by the way. And on its way to Addis Ababa, this front could be joined by the Oromo Liberation Army. Oromo groups in the past had close ties with Eritrea. People like Dawood Ibsa, they used Eritrea as their base. So on the way to Addis Ababa, Ola could join. And Ethiopian ambition of seizing Assab could turn into a nightmare for Ethiopia, because the joint front of Eritrean, Ethiopian, and Sudanese groups could topple PM Abiy's government. And it is already working on that. It is in contact with Fano, in contact with TPLF, backing Sudanese proxies. Ola will be happy to join, I believe. So this is what Eritrean government is working on. A dangerous game is ongoing in the Horn of Africa. Ethiopia will have to be very careful. The ambition to seize Assab militarily could end up in the overthrowing of the government of Prime Minister Abiy. I'm not saying it will happen, but this is what Eritrean government and its allies are working on. What is the solution? We'll talk about solution in next videos, but I analyzed Ethiopian and Eritrean military strategies in the last few videos. This fight for Assab will not just involve Ethiopian military and Eritrean military. We generally compare the militaries. Obviously, in terms of military strength, Ethiopia is far ahead. But the role of other players is not taken into account. Other players, like small groups being trained by Ethiopia against Eritrean government, like the groups being trained by Eritrea against Ethiopian government, like tens of thousands of armed fighters in Ethiopia who will be involved in this war on one or the other side. Their role will also be crucial. Let's hope that better sense prevails. Assab, and Abiy realize that war already devastated and destroyed the region. They should talk. When Ethiopia and Eritrea normalized ties in 2018, I think they talked about using ports jointly. If I'm not wrong, Assab, Abiy, they mentioned in their public speeches. So it means that what is missing is trust. There is deficit of trust which is pitting Ethiopia against Eritrea, vice versa. Building of trust is needed. Thanks for watching.